Shalom, Israel. Want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, BASHAM, YAHAWAHSHI, BASHAM, Rakah, Quadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders who teach and rule well at Great Millstone, and peace and salutations and peace and mercy to the prophets, the hopeful elect, the 144,000, and to the men and women of the 12 lost tribes of Israel, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. Shalom. Back with another lesson. I'll title this one, The End Is Come. The end is come. And, you know, there's only a few more prophecies left. Call halal yumla alahayana wa Yahawah BASHAM YAHAWAHSHI. Call halal Yahawah BASHAM YAHAWAHSHI. You know, we are at the end. You have we're at the end. We're at the doorstep of the Lord's second return. The King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, the Holy Mashiach, Yahawah BASHAM YAHAWAHSHI. And you have these few prophecies left. You have Jacob's trouble, the M-O to the T to the B, which is the C-hip, the chocolate chip, the RFID, where the mark where no man can buy or sell. You know, it's here. You know, we're just waiting for it to be mandatory. And then World War III, and then you have in the midst of that war, the war of wars, the war of Armageddon, the great deliverance that the Lord is coming back. You know, he's coming back to crush his enemies, starting with Esau, Edom, the so-called white folks, man. You know, and on down to these other nations that have oppressed and murdered and robbed Israel, the 12 lost tribes, man. And the Lord, in the end, in these last days, he said he was gonna rise up and gather his elect. There's a small remnant. There's an elect out of his people that he's coming back to deliver out of this time of trouble and tribulation and danger and fire that he's bringing on the earth. It's going to be a great deliverance. He did it the first time with Moses, our forefathers, coming out of the first Egypt, but we are in the second Egypt, which is America, spiritually known as Sodom and Egypt. He's gonna, what he did in that first Egypt, he's gonna top that. He's gonna make that look like a walk in the park on what he's gonna do in the second Egypt, and how he's gonna save and his elect, the remnant, out of his people. Call halal Yahawah BASHAM YAHAWAHSHI. Let me get to the scriptures. Let's go to let's go to Deuteronomy. I don't want to make this too long, just a quick hit. Through the power and the spirit of Yahawah BASHAM YAHAWAHSHI. This is end time prophecy right here. You know, the Lord said he was going to set them in order right before thine eyes in the end here. And we're witnessing this. Deuteronomy 28 and 64. And it reads, it says, and the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from the one end of the earth even unto the other. See? And in the midst of that scattering, you know, because Israel, yeah, we're a people of color, you know, from a dark charcoal brown to a light brown. And Israel has been scattered. So the Israelite men, you know, through this scattering all over the world, because it says, and the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from one end of the earth even unto the other. So you can think about here in the Americas, from California all the way to Egypt. You know, Israel's been scattered. And you've had you got these Israelite men, they've laid with all these different nations of women. See, because it's what your father is. It isn't what the mother is. It's what the father is. And then you have, in the midst of that scattering, you have Israelites, the speckled birds. They come out looking like a so-called white or Edomite, or a Chinese, a Moabite, or Elamite, Arabic. But they look like them, but their seed line goes back to Jacob. You see? So, Israel scattered, even though, yeah, a good majority, the bulk of the tribes are right here in the Americas. Yeah, and we're a people of color, but there's a speckled birds. See? It says, and the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from one end of the earth, even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. And that's what's been happened. We've been scattered. We've lost who we are. We don't know who we are. To good 2/3 of Israel, and even in times past of me, I never knew this. But through the power and the Spirit, the Lord willing, I'm part of the hopeful elect. But we didn't know who we are. But the Lord he's put the Spirit out there and on his elect, and they're coming back to their heritage and remembering who they are, who we are. Just like it tells you in Ezekiel, the 37th chapter, man. We're in that time. It says 65. But you have Israel, they worship all type of stuff. Egyptology, Kemet, Catholic, they're into everything. It says 65. It says, and among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest. But the Lord, YAHAWAHSHI, shall give thee there a trembling heart, and a failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind. And we live in the worst places. We live in Novadios, the ghettos, the projects. You got to deal with your own kind hating you and killing you. Right along with Esau, Edom, you can get gunned down by the police. You're thrown in prison, go to jail. We work these poor, low wage paying jobs. You got to deal with illnesses, defiled food, despised amongst the nations. We're just troubled on all sides. The Lord said, but the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart, and failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind. See, let me go to, so he said, he scattered Israel. See, so let's go to Romans. He scattered Israel. So, we've been in bondage. We went from Israel, Jerusalem, to all the way to the other side of the world, of the earth, to the Californias, to the Americas, to Texas and New York and the States, and down to the Bahamas and Brazil and South America, Central America, Asia. We're all over the world. Israel is scattered. So let me go to Romans. See? Romans 9 and 26, and it reads, it says, and it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, see, what place? The land of our captivity. It says, and it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people. And this is what we're witnessing right now. These Hebrew Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, right here in the Americas and across, the world, these Hebrew Israelites are coming back to their heritage, and they're being told that you are not the people of the Lord. You so-called Negroes, you Latinos and Native American Indians, the one that's been in slavery, the ones that have that are in the ghettos, the projects, the Novadios, the ones who are on TV and their women are whores. They barely like to go to school. They do all type of drugs. They extort one another. They're gang banging. They're pimps, and these people. These are the people. You're saying these are the people of the Lord? No way. No way these are the people. No way. Look at their behavior. They live in the worst conditions. These absolutely are not the people of the Lord. Yeah, right. You think you're fooling me? And it shall come to pass, that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there shall they be called. There shall they be called the children of the living God. See, and we're witnessing this right now, because the Lord is going to be clear as day. It's going to be spoken clear in this time of tribulation coming on who the Lord is dealing with. You see, and who got the truth, because at this point, these Hebrew Israelites are coming out prophesying out there on the highways and hedges, doing all type of lessons. And Esau, Edom, the so-called white folks, and these other nations, they can't go in the scriptures and deal with this, because this is the spirit of the Lord. This is the spirit. This thing is spiritual, man. And they're telling us right now, you Hebrew Israelites, you're not the children of the Lord. You're not. You're joking. You put on these dresses and put those stupid signs up. You're not the children of the Lord. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there shall they be called the children of the living God. Call Allah Yahawah BASHAM YAHAWAHSHI. Let's go to Ezekiel. See, this is end time prophecy. Ezekiel. Ezekiel 11 and 16. So we've been scattered into all countries and all nations across the world. So we've been scattered and we've been beat down. We've been humiliated. The tribes, you know what I'm saying? The so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. You know, we've been beat down. We've been humiliated, man, for almost 1,000 years already. Ultimately by Esau, Edom, the so-called white folks, man, what they've done. We've been humiliated and lied upon. So the Lord scattered us. He told us he was going to put us into captivity into all nations, and we're going to be ruled over by those that hate us. And this is what's going to happen. But in the end time here, the Lord is gathering his elect in this end time. And there ain't nothing Esau, Edom, you white folks, or any of you nations can do about this. Ezekiel 11 and 16, and it reads, it says, therefore say, thus saith the Lord, YAHAWAHSHI, although I have cast them far off among the heathen, and although I have scattered them among the countries, yet will I be to them as a little sanctuary in the countries where they shall come. You see, and these little sanctuaries, you see the tribes, the camps. You know, these are the little sanctuaries, man. These are the little sanctuaries. The Lord's not dealing with all of Israel. He has a little sanctuary. These little camps and out there with them signs and stuff. Those are the little sanctuaries, man. And that sign draws his people to them. This word right along with that sign. When they see the so-called Mexican or Cuban or Puerto Rican or Negro or West Indian or Colombian or Chilean, Argentinian, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, the camps. These are little sanctuaries. See, and then you have these so-called big mega churches that got 3.2 million people sitting in there, and they're not telling the people the truth because the Lord's not dealing with them. See, it says 17, therefore say, thus saith the Lord Yahawah BASHAM YAHAWAHSHI, I will even gather, see, I will even gather you from the people and assemble you out of the countries where ye have been scattered, and I will give you the land of Israel. So the Lord is gathering his elect right now. And the kingdom is going to be right there in Israel, right there in Jerusalem. So these same so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians that's been beat down and oppressed and thrown in prison and working these crummy jobs and living in the ghettos and barrios and projects, and the ones that's just been beat down and oppressed, these are the Lord's people. But ultimately, the Lord's gathering his elect at this point, because he's coming back to deliver his elect. 2/3 of his people will perish, and they will be brought back in the kingdom through marriage. You see, this is end time prophecy, and this is why you see these Hebrew Israelites in these camps. This is the Lord gathering his elect, man. He's gathering his elect out of his people. Let me go to Salakia. Here we go. Zephaniah 3, Zephaniah 3 and 9. Zephaniah 3 and 9, and it reads, it says, for then will I turn to the people a pure language. And what is that pure language? That's that Lashawan Quadash, the Hebrew, that Hebrew tongue, man, the holy tongue. You see, it says, for then will I turn to the people a pure language. Call Haloyim La Alahayanawa Yahawah BASHAM YAHAWAHSHI, that they may all call upon the name of the Lord to serve him with one consent. And that name, his name is Yahawah. Why Yahawah BASHAM YAHAWAHSHI? You have to have that name, that pure language. You see? Let me hop to 12. It says 12. I will also leave thee in the midst of thee, an afflicted and poor people, and they shall trust in the name. And they shall trust in the name of the Lord, Yahawah BASHAM YAHAWAHSHI. And we are the poor, the afflicted and the poor, the elect, man. We're afflicted and we're poor, because we're done away with this world, man. You see? And in this time of trouble, when death and famine and destruction is going on and violence, we're going to have that name. It says, and they shall trust in the name of the Lord. That name is everything. That name is, you need the name. And all we got is pretty much is hope and faith. That's it. The afflicted and the poor, the elect, the hopeful elect. We have the name. Let me close out with this. I'll close out with this. It says Ezekiel 7 and 3, and it reads, it says, Now is the end come upon thee. Now is the end come upon thee, and I will send mine anger upon thee, and will judge thee according to thy ways, and will recompense upon thee all thine abominations. For and my eye shall not spare, and my eye shall not spare. Neither will I have pity, but I will recompense thy ways upon thee, and thine abominations shall be in the midst of thee. And ye shall know that I am Yahawah BASHAM YAHAWAHSHI. The Lord is coming back to deliver his elect out of his people, and he's going to destroy this place, America. And 2/3 of his people will perish. And then the rest of the nations, you're going to get judged. Shalom.